So, thank you very much, and hello again. I just did the introduction, and I will go on now um, with some questions. Uh, and I would like to I think I would like to ask all of you, first of all, to say what you do, what your LSP is today, what you think your LSP will be. And I think this is one of the key questions. But maybe you just start with, introducing yourself and hit the floor with a small pitch about what you're doing. And maybe, Jauf, if you wanna
Yeah.
start, that
All
would be
right.
cool.
Sure. Thank you, Arthur, and for having me, and thank you everyone for joining.
Mhm.
Can you hear me well?
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. So yeah, Blend is a global LSP that is very much tech driven, and we actually serve all types of customers. We have customers that are very traditional, but most of our customers are on the Blend platform.
Mhm.
And the Blend platform has evolved, especially over the past, let's say, 24 months, into a concept which we call hassle-free localization. And we can talk later about why and what are the motivations, etc. But we feel that the localization market, as part of the Langopsization process, the shift left process,
Mhm.
requires us to focus more on the customer experience and hassle and reducing the hassle that is associated with traditional localization approaches, while maintaining quality customer care and personal commitment to results. And so this is what we focus on. Hassle-free or less hassle, to be honest. Less hassle localization has three main components, which we are focused on, and you will see in every one of our publication. Number one is connectivity, connecting the content directly without the need to send content or to upload it or anything like that. Number one. Number two is a seamless flow of AI and human that optimizes ROI, meaning that customers that are on the Blend platform need to know on an ongoing basis that we will always use the most advanced AI that we can, that we find that our research shows makes sense. But at the same time, we are always going to use also humans in order to make sure that the quality is adequate, and it's going to be seamless for them. They don't need to decide which AI, what AI, yes, human, no human. We make all the decisions based on our statistics and knowledge and expertise. And then the last thing, which is probably one of the biggest hassles in localization, is the pricing models.
Mhm.
I I'll just say I'm relatively new to the industry. I joined
Mhm.
just over a year ago. I was shocked to see the pricing model of per word, per language pair, per expertise. To me, it sounded like we are in the phone company in the 80s. When you used to pay for different rates for in the weekends or in the
Yeah.
nights. And so in Blend, we know exactly the statistics. We know which languages we do at scale. We know which expertise we have we are required to translate at scale, etc. And so we just basically made it a subscription. You pay
Mhm.
one price for the platform, for the connectivity, the project manager, the words, the languages, everything in one price. And again, we can talk about why we think hassle-free is the direction, but these are the three
Mhm.
elements: connectivity, flow, and simple pricing.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you very much. I mean, you're obviously your background was tech industry, right?
Yes,
Oh, no. Yeah.
I joined so
Mhm.
maybe just a little bit of a background. I'm a DevOps expert in the software and tech industry. I was a tech executive and like programmer and then executive for a long
Mhm.
time. And when I started as the CEO of Blend, after like a couple of weeks when I started to understand what's happening, and I said, hey, that's just like software development. Like you have
Hmm.
content development and then some post-processing, which is like testing, and then some deployment, which is like deployment. So automation has to drive it to
Hmm.
something along the lines of DevOps. And then I met Artu, who told me, yeah, that's exactly what we pitch, and that's Langos. And so that's where I decided that I want to join the institute.
And it's only half a year ago. So, so Emily, would you like to keep it up and give us an idea what you do, what your business is, and how you're in the market, how you're established. You're mute.
Hello. Okay. So I'm the founder of Rhyme and Reason Language Services. We started 20 years ago in Greece, and language services provider, obviously. We started using a lot of technology for our size, shall we say, early on. And then in 2020, we set up a spin out RIMA language tech culture, which is more dedicated exactly to AI assisted workflows and language asset management, but with an emphasis on the interconnection of what it says in the motto, language, tech, and culture. So this means that we take part in quite a few research programs with universities or other research institutes. So we do new stuff, try to bring in new ideas for clients, but usually with us as a pilot user.
Hmm.
And this has opened up quite a few new interesting chapters for a diverse range of clients.
Hmm.
And obviously, we do not compete with the larger LSPs, but we are positioned slightly differently in the market in that exactly because we focus on culture, we need
Hmm.
to have a personal connection with clients, organizations, or companies that we work with. And we offer things that go beyond traditional translation and more into cultural consulting or just what I call just detective work, trying to see
Hmm.
what will work on the language front for them. That's
Hmm.
about it in a nutshell.
Very good. No, thank you very much. I mean, we see on the one hand, we see Java with Blend, which I would consider more an industrial way to look into processes, etc., etc. And this is, of course, something that will also evolve. And if we see industries over the last 100 years, those changes have been taking place. But still, you have manufacturers, and you still have craftsmen. So you can buy an industrial shoe, but you can also have a custom-made shoe, which probably you're more the you're more the custom-made custom shoemaker. If that's okay for you, Emily, and maybe
Uh,
yeah,
I don't have an issue there, with the term. I don't think it exactly reflects what we do.
yeah.
I think that perhaps because we do a lot of research into words, and
Hmm.
I'll give you an example later, but
Yeah.
I think that perhaps we're at the beginning of we might have a client at the beginning of a process, and then if they want to scale up, they might
Hmm.
move on to a bigger provider, but
Hmm.
with the terminology and with the system that we have set up,
Yeah.
which we do use like agentic workflows and various
Hmm.
things
Hmm.
like that.
No, no,
But
great.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, this was more metaphorical. It was not, but
yeah,
yeah,
I like shoes,
yeah,
so
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Well,
but
who
if I may though,
doesn't like it?
Arto,
Yes, please.
I
Sure.
think that you hit a point,
Hmm.
but I would maybe try to characterize it a little bit, um, and maybe that's already for kind of the future of the world.
Yeah.
There's going to always be room for consultative
yeah,
services,
Hmm.
yeah.
always.
Right, right,
And
absolutely.
so and so LSPs will probably need to decide
Yeah.
what are we? Are we a processing company or are we a
Mm-hmm.
consultative company? And it depends
Mm-hmm.
on the size, the geolocation,
Mm-hmm.
the aspiration of growth, etc. Two
Mm-hmm.
very different models.
I,
And
yeah,
what I hear is that you are more taking the consultative approach, which
Yeah,
makes sense for you.
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. And I think that what I'm really interested in at the moment is the shift towards an emerging need for ground truth experts. So you can
Mm-hmm.
only do that if you've actually got people on the ground, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense for a large company to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Very good. Okay, so I mean, last in the round to introduce himself is Diego Casceri. Probably many of us already know him. I, I think I've seen him first in years well about 10 years ago on a log world, and I was only had in mind that he has those glasses that he's wearing today. So Diego, just yeah, the floor is
Yeah,
yours.
thank you,
And
Arthur.
the, yeah, right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll be quick so we have more room for questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in the industry for 20 years. Founded Creative Words 9 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Joined the Langops Institute from the very start, I would say. Creative Words it was born as a single language vendor. So we started working with other bigger companies, which is something we still do.
Mm-hmm.
But then in a natural growth path, we moved to, well, we are shifting towards end customers as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think for our size, and I have many connections in the industry for all the roles that I have covered. I think for our size, we're quite advanced in terms of research and development.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working hard on building our own solutions as well and go more into not the factory, not probably we are more in the middle, and this is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm here today. So we are building our solutions to serve different needs for different customers. Uh, so we're working on our post-editing, automated post-editing stuff and
Mm-hmm.
trying, to get there. I think many of us are working on the same
Mm-hmm.
things. And I think that's very much the direction of the industry, where it's a shift left and the linguistic expertise will always be needed. Not necessarily at the very end where translation usually lies, but also on the left. And I see that. I mean, we spend a lot of our working hours and days and months working on our linguistic solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And the aim for some of them, some of those workflows is not to do the human review at the end for some use cases, but then we spend huge amount of effort on the linguistic part of these solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we apply our linguistic expertise not at the very end sometimes, but maybe in other steps of the workflow. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this I think is the direction. Then you will always have customers. I mean, I have customers that are huge companies and they're still thinking that maybe they should introduce machine translation. So there's a shift. It's not necessarily something happening tomorrow, but not saying tomorrow everything will be automated.
Mm-hmm.
Some are there already. From my point of view, I was a challenge for us
Mm-hmm.
last year, and the beginning of this one was quite challenging. But I think there's some space, but definitely changing is not option anymore. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
taking this, choice that Yoav was thinking about is not option anymore
Mm-hmm. Right.
in a nutshell.
Okay. Cool. So thank you very much. And I think you, Diego, your company was born a single language vendor, and this is also something that struck me when I was entering 10 years ago the industry that those difference are there, because usually in an automated and in a technology driven environment it probably doesn't matter, but the expertise of course is asked for.
When I say single language vendor, and we started doing the biggest project I got was one of the still, living current MLV. But my aim at the beginning, and that's why I chose creative words as an aim, was to do content, not to do translation. You know, So
Yeah.
I was already somehow out of luck, just that,
Mm-hmm.
anticipating that there was more than, just the translation bit. And so this is why I chose the Creative Words name for the company. Then, well, you need to go on with the company and make a living. Then I started working as a single language vendor, but that was not in my intention at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Jav, I mean, if now we've talked a little bit about the direction that we have from from the LSP side. How do you see the client needs if you're looking into your clients? I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm wearing something from your client.
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you.
just yeah, please.
And again, also here, I
Mm-hmm.
I think that we need to look at what happened in other industries and learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
And you rightly indicated that it's basically the same as in any industry. You mentioned the shoes industry. I mentioned the tech industry. And let me maybe provide an example of the fashion industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be that when people needed clothes, they went to the tailor, right? And so the tailor was the one procuring fabric and buttons and making all the work. When technology became more available, then less people went to the tailor to procure those things and then do the work. They basically went to the shops.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shift left, right? When the consumer, the end consumer, has the ability to
Mm-hmm.
buy the goods, they will skip the middleman. In our world, the middlemen are the localization managers in enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened in this exact same way in technology.
Mm-hmm.
You used to have in every company a development shop that would develop applications for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Once the software as a service cloud, capability came up, most of the
Mm-hmm.
people today, if they need something, they go on the cloud and they purchase it by themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not really about what changes in our customers' needs. It's the fact that the customer identity is changing.
Mm-hmm.
More and more we see that the customers become the end user, getting help from the localization managers, rather than the localization managers are the customers. So that's the actual meaning of shift left. And so
Mm-hmm.
we see two phenomena. In most of our in many, I don't know to say that that's a transition. It will take some time, but it's a transition. More and more we see that the
Mm-hmm.
end customer is the business user.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, and they need hassle-free localization because they are not professionals in localization. They don't care about vanity KPIs and all the
Mm-hmm.
different measurements and all of that. They just need it to work good, quickly, cheaply, and
Mm-hmm.
just don't, make it good. Make it good,
Mm-hmm.
make it work.
Yeah.
The other, so the market kind of shifts, splits between those customers, which over time, this will be the vast majority of the customers. Just like,
Mm-hmm.
but there will still be people that will go to the tailor to get the advice, to get if I have a wedding, I want
Mm-hmm.
my suit
Yes.
to be perfect,
Perfect. Right.
designed, and I will need to know, what goes now in Milan and what is now.
Yeah.
That actually is the more consulting
Yeah.
slash language, like, for example, if I'm starting now my product marketing journey, I
Mm-hmm.
may want the product marketing content strategy creation, etc. That's language, that content. That's a
Mm-hmm.
more consultative approach, right? And so the market splits between the people who need ongoing volume translation to people who need project-based, tailor-made
Mm-hmm.
consultative approach. We in Blend, we actually have both.
Mm-hmm.
Just because this is the way that, and we actually have two divisions. We have a division that is what we call enterprise translation, and we have
Mhm.
language services.
So, okay. So it's between the good enough and the
It's not good
perfect.
enough. It's not good enough. You actually described it well. It's
Yeah.
between the volume game.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's not good enough. It's good. Like
Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
quality cannot be compromised.
Right.
It
Okay.
needs to be, it still needs to be good, but it
Uh-huh.
needs to be at scale and
Uh-huh.
standardized to the either because of either for those customers, like public sector and more traditional enterprises, that it will take them more time to get to the industrialized approach, just like in
Mm-hmm.
DevOps, just like in IT, just like everywhere else, right? It's the same. It just takes time to some industries more than others. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually there will be those two
Mm-hmm.
poles.
Poles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So I think it's time to ask the identity question because my feeling is that so many things are changing, and I wonder if LSPs, and this is probably a question that I would like to ask Emily, and you don't have to, answer it from you just open the perspective and give us your opinion on that. If we will have LSPs still in 5 years, in 10 years, or if this will totally change, and what kind of services will be put in there, and yeah, just an open question on that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because that's a neat one to answer what will happen in 10 years.
Yeah, I love that, isn't it?
Um, okay. On a side note, I think there's a huge issue with the whole debate of are we going to be LSPs or are we going to be content, whatever, all these
Yeah.
different terms.
Mm,
Exactly because we are translators and we focus so much on words and what they
mhm,
actually mean. I don't see this debate happening so much in other professions
mm,
that are being changed by AI. I
mhm,
mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but doctors
mhm,
don't are not debating so much their actual name. Whatever we are, whatever we're
mhm,
called anyway, definitely the content of what we do will change.
mhm,
Now, one thing that I think will happen,
mhm,
obviously, a million different things will happen, and they're already happening at the same time. So it's
mhm,
chaos, it's interesting, it's scary, and all that together. One
mhm,
thing that will happen for the shall we say the cultural consultancy end
mhm,
is that AI will unlock the past to a great extent. Because for the
mhm,
first time, we'll have access to digitalized information from archives, from testimonies, from
mhm,
whatever diaries, whatever, across the
mhm,
world, which you will be able to cross-reference. So this will change our understanding of the narrative of history. And that,
mhm,
that involves a lot of work for linguists, because you
mhm,
have to provide cross-temporal checking of terms as they
mhm,
develop over time, and then to take them into other languages. I understand that this is a slightly niche field,
mhm,
but I think that a lot of new words will arise because of that. Because you know how it goes, a new term pops up in one language, and then you need to globalize it. So that's just one example of
mhm,
what will happen. In every respect, I think our work will change,
mhm,
apart from the basic fact that we will be still, I
mhm.
guess, to a certain extent, carrying words from one language to another, or
You
not.
know, yeah, yeah,
But
right.
yeah, we will
Yeah,
still be working with language, I guess.
yeah,
That's the
right. I mean,
minimum.
my thoughts on that are quite specific. I think if I, and I've seen that, all over several industries within the last 20, 30 years, and I don't, well, and by the way, I would just like to say, well. Um, no, I'm kidding. The what what I think will be some kind of, game changer in this in this whole thing is that technology will enable us and our clients and whoever applies it to create content in multi-languages at one time. So it will not be the source language, and then we do it like, then we translate it in 10 things, and then we implement it. It will be much more integrated, and probably also what we expect or what we see right now will be exceeded. And yeah, I mean, this is something which I think will be happening, and with that, it will be an end-to-end workflow. It will be a strategic layer that we will have, and it will have the full capacity of being also bi-directional. So if you write something, or if you're if you're in the if you're with a call center agent, it doesn't matter if he's Indonesian or Chinese, he will speak German to you, or to me, by the way, and and to you he will speak Greece, but you will probably recognize that it's some kind of strange voice, but probably not. And I think this is the beauty that we are facing now with technology and with everything related to language.
Well,
So
if I may,
yeah, please go ahead.
I found myself using a chatbot with some OTA, so online travel agency,
Mhm.
and I was definitely talking with someone from India.
Mhm.
But I was getting the text in Italian, and it was such an amazing user experience. It
Mhm.
was extremely positive.
Yeah.
And I solved the issue in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and of course, if I wear the hat of the user, I'm really happy. If I wear
Mhm.
the hat of the language service provider, then it's another story because,
Right.
well, this is a problem that's been solved.
Mhm.
I don't think there's nothing we can do with that
Right.
for that kind of use case, of course.
Yeah.
Then, since we are many LSPs here, I think that many things will change. What we will offer, how we will need to talk with our customers, how we will provide the
Mhm.
service.
Mhm.
Will we be using cut tools? Will the cut tools be the same or not? I mean, will the pricing model, of course, as you was mentioning, be the same? I don't think so,
Mhm.
which is probably good.
Mhm.
Um, the kind of services, I mean, when ChatGPT was out in Europe and then in Italy, they stopped it for 1 month, but that's another story.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, I already envisioned that big things would happen and will
Mhm.
change, but not with this extent and with this speed. I mean, it's crazy.
Mhm.
It's, it's crazy. And I like what Yoav was saying about the hassle-free localization and the customer not having to think that the technology is evolving every day. There's a new model. Whenever there's a new model from one provider, you get 10 other providers like rushing to get out
Mhm.
another model. It's crazy. But
Mhm.
many things will change in the way we provide the service. And the balance, I think, will be more. I always thought that technology and uh, creative was founded when neural machine translation was launched, more or less.
Mhm.
I always thought 50% weight would be on the language and 50% of the technology.
Mhm.
Probably it's going to be more
Mhm.
on the technology side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, again, language
Right.
will not be disappearing anytime soon.
No, that's cool. And well, next question goes to Jav. But before that, I would just like to refer to also some fails that we have seen. I mean, we have seen some in Germany. We've seen a big startup called Lengu, and they were very much into neural machine translation, and they failed absolutely. And now we just saw a relatively quick sale of Unbubble, which is of well, we are very much related to them because they kind of coined the LangOps as a word, and yeah, and this really strikes me very much, and I'm very curious what's happening in the future. But this is only a sidestep. So, Ralph, give me also an idea. What is well, of course, first of all, give me a level of automation that you have in your industrial field, in your industrial language processing field. What's the level of automation right now, and how much will be automated within the next 5 years? What do you think? Give it a wild guess.
No, I don't need to guess
Yep,
because
you
it's
know.
already happening. So I actually think that the change
Mm-hmm.
is very rapid.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The technology basically is there already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been, and you can see, like, I talked to Paula, I forgot
Mm-hmm.
her last name, from Booking.com. They are
Yeah.
doing 98% of their translation using AI.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is, how do you use AI, and are you able to invest in the infrastructure that will make it good for you to
Mm-hmm.
run, so that you only need to spend the 2% editing eventually. And really what happens today is that today the world is divided into two. You
Mm-hmm.
have um, generalist
Mm-hmm.
company LSPs like us, and we are able to roughly get 50% qualified uh, machine translation,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of which engine you use, LLM, DeepL,
Mm-hmm.
it's roughly somewhere between 50 to 60%.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the bookings of the world,
Mm-hmm.
which build their own infrastructure of LLM and RAG and vector databases and glossaries, etc. It's very expensive, so you need to be a very large company to do that. And when they do, they are able to extract from LLMs way better results.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we all need to absorb the fact
Mm-hmm.
that in the next 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
there is going to be an industrialized solution that will
Mm-hmm.
reach 90% plus accuracy. It will require implementation per customer. It
Mm-hmm.
will require. So you need to you need to train the model, blah, 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 glossaries,
Mm-hmm.
but it will be effective enough
Mm-hmm.
that you will be able to implement it not only to the very, very large companies, but also
Mm-hmm.
to the Fortune 10,000 companies. And so that's where it's going to go. Customers are going to, now, again, it's going to be a transition. Not everyone is going to trust this
Mm-hmm.
in day one. Not everyone, but the technology is already there.
Mm-hmm.
We play with it, we understand it, we know where it's going. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have a research department. We are, and we don't develop translation technology ourselves. We curate translation technology and make it available to customers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we augment it with human.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to assume that this already exists, and that in the 1 to 2 years, it's going to become more and more common for customers to actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
It will be in the 90s. Automate. And by the way, I personally think also that the entire infrastructure of segment-based translation, all the TMSs, all the CAT tools, all of this is going away
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because LLMs don't need CAT tools.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason to continue to use it. Translation memories, which is really the core reason to use segments,
Mm-hmm.
are not required with LLMs.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that what we are going to see, not in 2030,
Mm-hmm.
starting 2026,
Yeah. Yeah.
is LLM-based flows, still requiring
Mm-hmm.
implementation, still requiring a professional setup, still requiring some editing.
Mm-hmm.
That will go up to kind of a 90s, even higher, even upper 90s,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the language.
Mm-hmm.
And the reduction of the importance of all the segment-based value chain technology systems.
Yes. I totally agree. I think segments are kind of gone, and I've seen that. Uh, I've seen those discussions for many years now, and they are still there. And I think it died some months or some years ago already. But with that, I can tell you that we are quite alone, and many people will have
Yeah, of course. So,
spontaneous
Arthur, again,
playing.
because I
This is
come
why
from,
I was laughing.
What? I'm sorry?
Oh, this is why I was laughing. I was
Yeah.
thinking about the people
Yes, of course.
reaction if they were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, right,
no,
right.
but this is the nature of things. Again,
Mm,
the only advantage that I bring to the table when I came
mm,
to Blend was that the fact that I went through such a transformation in
right.
at least two industries, in the telecom
Mm-hmm,
industries and then in the software development industry. And I
mm-hmm,
can tell you that I was in the software testing market.
mm-hmm,
And there used to be gigantic divisions in
mm-hmm,
banks and other companies that owned testing end to end.
mm-hmm,
They owned the budget, they owned the systems, they owned. So there was a development and there was testing and then there was deployment.
mm-hmm.
Today, it took
Yeah,
20 years, but today there are no testing departments
right.
because everything shifted left to development. That's the nature
Mm,
of automation. So
yes.
Mm.
anyway, what I'm saying is the market will split. It will happen fast.
Yeah.
It will happen fast. Either people that will look for the hyper automation, good quality
Mm,
solutions, or people that
mm,
will look for language services, consulting
mm-hmm,
services. I
mm,
think we all need to be ready with that. And the other thing that I think we should all be ready
mm-hmm,
is the language services and consulting
mm-hmm,
fit very well the local companies, the single language companies, the hyper expert in culture uh,
mm-hmm.
uh, services.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other side, it will all be about scale. It will all be about economy of scale. And so I think that what we will see in the market, and we are starting to see that, is consolidation on this side and specialization on this side,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
That's what I'm predicting.
Absolutely.
May
I
I, Arthur?
Yeah.
So
Diego,
sorry.
Diego, go ahead. Yeah.
May I want you shared you shared the booking example. And Booking was one of the companies that had the biggest language department, as far as I know. I mean, they were huge.
Well,
And what is for us then? For us, mid-sized LSPs. My question is for you. I have my opinions, but I'm here to learn as well.
You
So,
asked me. You asked me.
yeah.
First of all, Blend is also somewhat of a mid-size LSP. We are not transperfect.
Nobody is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually think you have to choose. You have to either become a specialist in something which is more than translation.
mm-hmm,
I, I don't think that the model of MLV and like just translation will be relevant for a very, very long time. Again, that's my own opinion. I think that eventually technology will be such that and the rate will accelerate. The adoption rate will accelerate, and then the only thing that you can do is either have enough scale to drive the technology implementation, which is tough because you need, the margins, like you need scale in order to do that. Or like Emily described, you want to be hyper differentiated by something unique to the market that you bring, and you bring that, and even maybe, yes, then okay, go industrialize it somewhere else, right? Like I think that's probably the choices.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. And I mean,
Right.
obviously, we also use the kind of more, shall we say, mass-produced translation scenario when we have to. But I completely agree. You'll have these two. You have a marriage of these two opposites.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Thank you very much. I mean, this is all cool. Let's have a look into often neglected But right now, I mean, what is in for the humans? What is in for somebody who you know who's a trained linguist? Well, of course, there's something in the specialized industry, but how do we see the future roles of humans in all that? Because I think we should also care about we should very much care about those bright minds that we have in our industry today, and you know, not throw them out, because I think there's so much value in it. But this is only my point.
So there is definitely, I mean, these are the most important people in the industry, and we should not forget it. And the good news for all of them is that they are not going away. Again, by extrapolating from my experience in the testing industry, for example, the thing that happened, testing is not going away. What went away are distinct testing processes in companies. The shift left of testing actually elevated testing and testing professionals, and they are now part of the development workforce.
Yeah.
And the same thing will happen with linguists. They will be part of the content creation process rather than the post-content creation,
Right.
the post-creation process. Now, it requires from the people a shift in their skill. They need to be able to embed themselves into into those content creation processes and tools, etc., etc. But multilingual content knowledge and requirement is not going away anyway. It's just going to be embedded. So that's number one. But I think the more interesting question is what's going to become with the localization managers, not the linguists, the localization managers. Right. And here also I have a strong advice to the localization managers in companies. Your role is changing from owning translation or localization to enabling the adoption of LangOps or hassle-free translation to your business users. If you will continue to insist of holding the budgets, holding the decisions, holding be the sole decision maker of all translations in practicality, the technology will just enable them to override you, and they will just start using other services. They are already starting. If, however, you will say, look, my role is to enable you, my business customer, to work as quickly as possible, as cheaply as possible, hassle-free as possible, connected as possible, in good quality, then you will become a strategic enabler to the business. So become an enabler rather than an owner of the actual process.
Very good. So do you also envisage that there will be some kind of new work? I mean, what you were referring to was the integration into agile workflows, having those huge development departments had been cut into teams of 6 people, and they were doing everything, delivering artifacts from one week to another, etc.
And today testers are part of that.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Right.
but they are not testers. They are test automation engineers, and that's exactly the reskilling that needs to happen. From a linguist to someone who can embed themselves into an agile content creation flow.
So something like data curators, for example, the multilingual data.
I'm not sure that I know
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, just I mean, I'm just you know piping a little here, but it's good. Okay, cool.
May I?
Yeah,
Sorry,
please
sorry.
go ahead.
Well, considering the audience and even the title of this gathering here, but my advice would then for LSPs that are here to upskill their linguists to that. Because otherwise we might not have any linguists here. But my suggestion would be to do that, because this is what I've done in my company, and a couple of linguists that I still have in the company have turned into completely something else.
Yeah.
And the value that they provide is
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know how to even count it. It's amazing. So,
What?
but this is because they
Mm,
started to upskill and
mhm,
reskill more than
mm.
upskill 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
if you haven't started, my advice would be start now.
Start now. So what was the role of those linguists 2 years ago and now?
Well, they were, I was going to say just, they were translating and doing QA
Right.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be freelancers for my company in audiovisual translation. Then I hired them.
Mm-hmm.
But then when AI came, well, they were doing machine translation post-editing, of course, but then when AI came and asked them to do something else. And now what they do is they do, well, the prompting, the prompt engineering, but they
Mm-hmm.
also do some programming. They do workflow orchestration. They do much, much more. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that the 80% of the skills that they're using today is language skills.
Mm-hmm.
They just added this 20% tech that
Mm-hmm.
they need, and they do an amazing job. And if you
Diego, they
want
can
to build,
also, if I may, they can also go the other way around. Like we have people in our company that their core value has elevated to become consultants,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so content creation consultant. So you can either go that way or
yeah.
that way, just like the LSPs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Good.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think you have to find for smaller LSPs, you have to find the balance between agility and structure with what everyone does. But yeah, definitely, everyone has to learn new skills. I mean, even before AI, you have to skill all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. So I think we are losing your connection, Emily.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah, but
problem
yeah,
here.
yeah, I know. But it's all. I mean, that's all fine. So I think we are approaching our first hour. I still have some questions, but I think we hit a very good point here. And if you agree, and I see some questions from Remy already and from Sirium in the chat. I would be very interested to open the discussion now, if that's fine with everybody. Diego, Jauf, and uh, Emily, is that okay for you? So I would.
I was just shocked when
Yeah,
you said the first hour. I was just checking if it was 1 hour or more.
no,
Just that.
yeah, we are now in the third hour of right.
No, no, fine. Let's go for the questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's cool, and I think we made a very good point here, looking into the industrialization and the other part of the scissor, which is kind of opening here. And yeah, I think that's it's a very good one, and we don't want to talk about what technologies and probably what technological challenges, etc. So we've already touched that as well, and we will have more of those roundtables, and everybody is invited to follow up regularly. Okay, Remy, if you want to ask I've seen two questions that you were putting into the chat, and if you like to open the discussion, then just unmute yourself and hit it.
Sure. Thanks, Arthur. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, you gave a thumbs up to the second question, so I'll ask that one.
You can
Just
ask both.
It's okay. Yeah, because the industry is changing a lot with mergers and acquisitions and automation, changing a lot of things like we discussed.
Mhm,
What kind of strategies should the leaders adopt to not be a cost center, but also a driver of cultural connection and global brand trust?
mhm.
That's the question I put in the
Yeah.
chat.
To,
Yeah.
to, to whom you would like to ask it?
Just I don't know, open-ended, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know how this works.
Okay. Top.
I'm not sure that I have a great answer for that.
Yeah.
I think that I have to be again honest with everyone. I'm not a big fan of the word localization.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I think that it's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and let's be honest, like 95, 97, 99% of what we do is translation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think at the end of the day, I don't think we can avoid the fact that for most of the people,
Mm-hmm.
there is a 1%, 2%, 3% consultation thing that they need, which I absolutely think is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is translation. And so I think that if we want to maintain this level of strategic value, we
Mm-hmm.
have to maintain the capability to not only translate, but also consult. It's very difficult to do at scale. I think local companies have an advantage there. You are either, the IBM of translation, and you have a scale to do it globally, or you are a local company and you have a scale to do it, the capability to do it locally. I think that's a challenge to the industry, and I'm not entirely sure that I have the right answer. I have that answer, by the way, in Israel. In Israel,
Mm-hmm.
where we have an office and we have people, etc., and we are hyper connected to the industry, we can do this consultation on a local. That's why we are kind of
Mm-hmm.
right. We are able to do the consulting part in Israel and the industrial part globally. I
Mm-hmm.
think to do a consulting part globally, you need to be a Transperfect or RWS or some other company.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I think that it is difficult to do that at scale. Locally, it's possible, but then you have other challenges that it's very difficult to grow. So if you are a local company and your ambitions to grow are modest and local, that's the direction that you want to go.
Hmm. But isn't it a chance for an LSP like you also becoming a kind of smaller, high quality global player and just you you you
No, because it requires scale. It requires scale, local presence,
Mm-hmm.
boots on the ground in
Mm-hmm.
every locale, in every language that is
Mm-hmm.
highly trained. It's not linguists. It's
Yeah,
much more advanced
yeah.
capability than a linguist. And I think that this is naturally, it's a game of scale. And again, we do not need to invent the wheel. In
Mm-hmm.
the software development industry, you
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch of global players, Accenture, Deloitte, PwC,
Right.
Infosys, yada, yada, yada,
KPMG, right.
right? And then everyone else is niche, small, local software
Mm-hmm.
companies. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about like the consulting, uh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in order to be a global player, you need to be an Accenture,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? I'm
Okay.
very far of being an Accenture, and I don't think that I want to take the role of
No,
Accenture in this.
no, no. I think that's very unhealthy. But, right now, but okay, Emily, please.
Yeah, I completely agree that it's because I've thought about it sometimes. Obviously, when you have language issues, when you have a language puzzle to solve,
Mm,
obviously lots of times it involves other languages and other cultures. So it would have been very useful for us at some points to have people in other countries with kind of the same set of skills, which
mm-hmm.
I'm sure they exist, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always difficult, finding the right person at the right time and all that. So I think perhaps one new type of, not LSP, but if perhaps it could be a network of companies kind of like what we do, like the
Mm-hmm.
more cultural consultancy, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really think is that LSP should open up to synergies with other types of companies, like, for example, in our case, cultural management companies
Mm-hmm.
or
Marketing creation,
publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
technology and marketing creation company.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Publishers, depends on what you do. I mean, I actually this week I had a long series of meetings with various publishers from various countries. It was very interesting to see. They were all like, "Oh yeah, translators are dead, and they're done and dusted, and we've solved that problem." And then when you try and tell them that, what you're supposed to be in the creative industry
Mm-hmm.
should not be safeguarding blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah language assets. they're kind of like, yeah, we should actually. We had never thought about this. So it's actually going out to people and perhaps sometimes reminding them, because a lot of times people, it's not even that they want to do, they don't want to spend money on translation when you explain the value of translation or language asset curation anyway. So I think we need to be much more out there, working with others and coming to the
Good.
market.
Okay. Maybe one point that I would like to refer to that Remy said, it was just like in the sphere of cost. He was mentioning language as a cost, and I see that this is one of the major problems that the industry always had, because it was always a cost center, cost type of thing, and actually it's not. I mean, I think it's more, if you see it, it's strategically, and if I would have had the experience of language long before I went to the language industry, and I was you know, and I saw the standards there. For me, being a C-level guy, language didn't exist. Somebody did it, and it was not, and it was never strategic. But now today, when I'm talking to C-level people and give them the idea of LangOps or whatever it is, then I mean it's only a name, and some like it, some don't like it, and I really don't care. But LangOps is a good thing, and we are following a successful tradition of, you know, DevOps, etc. And with that, people have a totally different perspective on what language is, and that language and the ability to go to market and to expand your markets very, very quickly is a competitive advantage, and this brings it totally out of translation and all this kind of discussion. And it's, you know, nobody cares about segments, nobody cares about per word, etc. But people care about, or will care about, and I'm sure that this will definitely be happening, that language will be a center point if you look if you look into your strategic portfolio. And I think that a company that speaks and understands 25 languages has much more value than one that is just, you know, going for five languages, or as it was in, you know, 20 years ago or 15 years ago, you had just had German for the German market, and then you had English, and probably you had something in French or Spanish, and that was it. And now that we have the technology, I'm super convinced that there will be a standard given for enterprises to be multilingual in itself. And I'm really happy to see that, and it's much more an investment into that than any cost view. If I was if I was understandable here, Dolph,
Absolutely.
or Emily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very
I
much.
saw some people are starting to leave, so maybe we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good discussion. Probably next time we could have a longer one, or we could have a second one as well.
Yes.
There's a lot to say. I found it useful for myself, so hopefully
Yes.
it was useful for everybody here.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
you know
So,
what I yes,
next.
do you know what I liked? That
Huh?
we all agreed. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing. Everyone from their different viewpoint, I completely agree
Yeah.
with the rest. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing, we're splitting, and it's a good thing.
Mm,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
So then this is a very, very good start for the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
everybody.
right.
So thank you. It was a great
Thank
discussion.
you
Thank
very
you so
much.
Bye,
much.
everybody.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
that's all
Great
cool. Thank
discussion.
you.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So we are wrapping up. but I think there was somebody just joining right now. And I think Michelina just joined right now, and she's gone. Okay. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.